when you look at the macro trend in the energy, I think it's clear that from now until 2030, in the near term, there's an expectation for the energy demand to grow by 7 to 8%. By 2050, there is a minimum expectation of 20% increase in the energy demand. So the challenge and the opportunity, equally the opportunity for companies like us, traditional energy providers, we need to decarbonize the current energy system while also invest on the new energy system of tomorrow. And I think post COP28, it was clear that the task is going to be challenged but possible. We, as Adnok, we committed ourselves with other energy players, 50 of them, on the OGDC, Oil and Gas Decarbonization Charter. And there is a clear climate targets by 2030, by 2050. In fact, as a responsible energy producer, we raise our ambition, and we are targeting net zero by 2045. Is it possible? Is it doable? We believe so. Is it a challenge? Yes, it is a challenge. So let me highlight some of what a traditional energy provider and supplier like us are currently committing to. So on the traditional energy space, we are very pleased to have reached one of the lowest carbon intensity producers globally. We produce our barrel at an equivalent of 7 kilograms of CO2 per barrel. How did we do this? By embracing or connecting our operation, be it on the onshore or offshore, with the grid, tapping into more sustainable sources of energy like nuclear and solar. We are raising the ambition when it comes to the carbon capture, and we strongly believe that carbon capture will play a big role in decarbonizing the energy system of today. We have a target to achieve 10 million tons per annum by 2030. We're embracing renewables. And we started this journey very early, when a lot of people around the world were very skeptical about the potential of renewables. We built the first renewable energy company in the region called Masdar in 2006. At that time, the cost of solar was almost astronomical, higher than today. The last project in Abuظbي for renewable energy is almost at 1.4 cents per kilowatt hour. We're expanding and supporting the renewable energy platform in Abuظbي to grow to 100 gigawatt by 2030. We are embracing hydrogen. And the last transaction we did with ExxonMobil here in this part of the world is demonstrating and translating our strategy. We're embracing low carbon hydrogen through this transaction we did here, but we're also making good progress on two key projects in Abuظbي that will position Adnok and Abuظbي as one of the leaders in the low carbon hydrogen going forward. So in a nutshell, I think the task is challenging but doable. We are doing our part to decarbonize the energy system of today, and we're embarking on an aggressive strategy to be part of the future through our investment in the low carbon solutions. Masdar made a big move in the US market with the announcement of acquiring 50% of a well-established platform in the US called TerraGen, with a capacity of more than 2 gigawatt and a battery storage or energy storage capacity of 5 gigawatt. As Adnok, we announced two big deals, one with the next decade, an offtake of 1.9 million ton per annum of LNG. And also last week, we announced the big transaction on the low carbon space with ExxonMobil, one of the largest, low carbon hydrogen projects globally. Why the US? Because the US enjoys strong fundamentals when it comes to the natural gas. I think we've seen the last 10 years how the landscape or the energy landscape in the US is being transformed as a result of innovative techniques, deployment technologies implemented on the unconventional space. It provides an interesting proposition and value proposition to tap into this market. The policies in general, they take two sides, of course. One is the positive side, because it's one of the enablers for decarbonization, and we see a lot of systems globally where it helped accelerate decarbonization and transition. But you see it also on the other side where it is impeding certain activities. So to us, when we look at different jurisdictions, we look at the fundamentals of the business. So as long as the fundamentals are strong, I think we pursue these opportunities. It is a risk that any company, a responsible company, would look at it and quantify it and try to adjust accordingly when we see these risks materializing.